Quick in the interim here, I actually went out and fixed those geosync satellites, and I just thought to show a quick clip of that. All you have to do is just play around with the radial nodes and the positioning of it, because your circle is the right size. You just need to kind of shift it so that it's on this 2686. So that's basically all I did. Is I just went out and moved it around and played around with those radial nodes. Hello there, and welcome back for episode 10 of our Let's Play. As promised, we're going to be going to the Mun this mission here, or right now. However, I have taken up the challenge of not only getting a lander to Mun and landing on Mun, but at the same time, we are also going to take 4 tourists with us. Now, they don't need to land, they're just going to be doing a flyby. So essentially, I've built a craft that is going to split in 2 when it gets to Mun, and one part of it's going to go land, and the other part's just going to carry on back to Kerbal with the 4 tourists in it, and it will be it'll be remote piloted once it actually disengages from the lander. The lander itself will have Kerbals in it, but this part for the second half of the journey will be completely automated, so it's a good thing we have those satellites up now. So yeah. I guess I should show off the ship and kind of explain how it's all going to work. It's going to be a pretty complicated mission. There's going to be a lot of burns and a lot to it. It's going to get a bit chaotic, but I've ran all the numbers. The math should work out. We should be good, although we do not have a lot of excesses, so we need a lot of things to go our way. We can't really screw up too much, or we're going to be in trouble. So without further ado, it is time to unveil the Communador, which I thought was fun because it's kind of half commercial, half Mun, and not the greatest at naming things, so that's as good as it's going to get. This is going to be our lander, and then there's a bit of an extra stage in here, which I'll explain later, but so beneath the lander, we have our commercial piece, which is going to house 6 Kerbals. So yeah, that's basically, this is going to be our payload. And then down here, this monstrosity is going to be the launcher that's going to actually get us up to orbit. But yeah, so this is going to be our launcher. The solid boosters are going to fire, they're going to ditch, these 3 will all light up. These guys are asparagus to the center, so they're going to drain, and then they're going to ditch, and then the center piece will take us the rest of the way. So that's going to be, so the 4400 is to get us to orbit, and then the 1000 is going to be to do our trajectory towards Mun. Basically, this guy's going to pop off, and then you can see that this central stage here has 470 dV. So what that's going to do is that's going to cover our brake burn, which is going to be 350 dV. And then this guy, you can see, has 1900 dV. So as I was saying, it takes, so the brake's already dealt with. We've dealt with the brake. That's going to happen on its own. But so we need 600 to land. We obviously need another 600 to get back up into orbit. So you're at 1200, and then we need about 350, basically what the brake stage is, to actually get back to Kerbin. So that puts us at about 1550, and you can see it has 1900. So that is going to give us an excess. I may, if I get really ballsy, I may actually try to get 2 biomes. Yeah, so we got 4,000 to get to orbit, we got 1,000 to do our trajectory to Mun, we got 500 to do our brake, and we got 1,900 to do our complete landing. And in theory, it should all work out. One thing you will notice that we're showing red over here, and that's because we're almost double the mass limit that we currently have. So one thing we do need to do before we launch this guy is pop back out to our map here, and we are going to upgrade this launch pad, which is pretty expensive. It's 280k. I don't really want to spend the money, but it's just that I don't really have an option. If I want to do crazy missions like this, I need the extra mass to be able to build the ships. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bite the bullet. We're just going to drop the 280 and upgrade that guy, and that way we don't ever have to deal with mass anymore. Because it's fully upgraded now. 3 is as high as it goes. Otherwise, we should be all set for launch here. Alrighty, we are at the launch pad and we are in a smooth count towards launch here. All crew members are accounted for, all 8 of them. Bill and Val drew the short straws, so they get to ride shotgun for this one, and we'll not be doing a Mun landing, but Bob and Jeb will, because I kind of want to level them up first. But yeah, we should be set to make history here, because this is going to be our first ever launch with more than 5 hurdles. It's going to be our first launch that has a remote controlled craft that actually has people in it. And it's also going to be our first Mun landing. So, unless something horrible happens during launch here, I will likely see you in orbit. 3, 2, 1, launch! Holy crap. I actually did a hole-in-one. Or at least in my books, because I wasn't going for full orbit. I wanted to get to a 70-30 so that I could ditch this guy and let it burn up, and then finish out our burn with this guy, if you remember. But we got 3 minutes before that happens, so one thing I do want to do is we're going to open this, and I programmed all the solar panels to the brake key as an action group. So we're going to deploy those, and also pretty sure we have a mission to collect data from space. So we're gonna see, does that do it? No. Oh, ha! Oh, I'm a noob. We're still in the atmosphere. Durr. We're not actually in space yet. I'm a little hesitant to use the fast forward, like the physics warp, in the atmosphere, just because this thing is pretty obscenely long. And I've seen a lot of bad things happen when you do physics warp on weird looking crafts like this with a bunch of breakpoints. Okay, we're finally out. However, we are only 22 seconds from pulling this off. So what we're going to do here is we're actually just going to ditch this engine. We still have 130 delta V, but I don't actually need it, and I want it to burn up, so goodbye! Enjoy! And don't make me come back out to burn you up. Go burn up on by yourself this time. Cool, so now that we're in space, let's try this again. Transmit. Because even though there's no science, it should, yeah, there it flashed. Sweet. Yeah, because even though it doesn't have actual science, just transmitting air still counts for missions. And I think, so we're in a 7370 orbit, and we have solar panels out. Ran all the tests we need over here. Yeah, so I think we just need to plot our Mun trajectory here and do our burn. So you can see here I quickly checked the ascending and descending nodes, but we were only 0.1 degrees out, so I didn't bother dealing with it. Other than that, the exact same trajectory we did last time. We're going to do a flyby where we fly in front of the Mun and slingshot around so that the tours can get back safe while we do our landing. Okay, we are 7 minutes out from our burn here, and I have a dilemma. We technically need to... Both crafts have to perform a burn at parry, and I obviously don't really want to deal with that. So the one I'm most worried about is the lander. So I think what we're actually going to do, even though we're not at parry apps yet here, hopefully this doesn't change our PE too much. Oh, it is lifting it up. Crap. Okay, screw it. We're gonna go to 3 minutes from parry here. And then we're gonna do this burn and then work fast. Hopefully. Oof, that was a bit much. So I'm actually gonna turn on, we're gonna have RCS, spare RCS fuel, so I'm just gonna use RCS to correct that a little bit. And where'd Kirby go? Whatever. Okay, we need to... So we have 69 meters a second to spare in the comm station, or the commonotron, or whatever that piece is called. Okay, so what is this? That is bad. We do not want to do that. So we should be ready to decouple. Now, the whole reason I brought RCS was for this moment. What I actually am going to do, if I was to fire this engine, it would send this guy into a spin or potentially blow something up. Both of which are bad, so we're going to just give it a little bit of a cook with RCS so that they start drifting apart. And then what I'm going to want to do now is I'm going to flip to this guy real quick and just double check to make sure. So you can see that actually changed our parry slightly when we did the decouple. But it's not enough that I care about. So we're going to go back to him. Cool. So those guys are now on their merry little way. They are going to go all the way back to Kerbin, and we will not have to deal with them. We'll be able to land and take off again before we even have to worry about going back to that guy. Because it's going to take them a hell of a lot longer than it's going to take us to do what we need to do. So that'll put us in a 12-12, and we are already past the burn. Let's just light that sucker up. Crap. Shouldn't have went to 3 minutes. A little too little. Or too much. Ooh, the sun is setting. I guess this is actually the first time I've dropped into orbit around 1-2. That's another first. And we're getting really close here. Meh, good enough. Our low side's on the day side, and that's all I really care about, because we're going to most definitely be landing on the day side. So, these guys are probably too common. Well, okay, let's do a quick save. You know what I should have done? We're going to switch this guy back to this guy for a second. Oh, they don't have comms. Hey! So maybe line of sight does matter. Because if this guy doesn't have comms right now, that means he's blocked by the Mun, because he should be able to see those relays. I wonder. This is totally not why I switched to this guy, but we might as well run a test while we're here. Aha! So look, so it does matter. So, well, with some room to with a little bit of error margin, but it does matter. And oddly, it was, oh yeah, because it could see that one first, and then it switched to that one. Hey, 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 hey! It's totally doing what it's supposed to do. Oh, that's cool. Anywho, what I wanted to do was I installed a new mod which is called Kerbal Alarm Clock, and I wanted to show that off real quick. Ridiculously useful mod for KSP. Essentially what it does is it allows you to create alarm clocks so that you can actually see, essentially when you're doing exactly what I'm doing right now, you're doing multiple missions, you can actually keep track of other vessels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go set an alarm clock for this guy for SOI change. And essentially what that means is it gives me a timer, this timer here, which is apparently, oh, it probably has a 1 minute variance, but yeah. So now I have like I can check this at any time and see when where this guy is in his path. Now, usually what you'd use this for is if you had a maneuver out here, but I don't want to really plot a maneuver out here just because I'm not in that SOI yet, so I'm just going to do this, and I just wanted to kind of show how it works. So now you can see when we switch back to this guy, basically at any given time I can actually pull up this Kerbal Alarm Clock now and see this other mission. And it's a really good way to plot if you have a bunch of maneuvers planned. Like for instance, when I did add maneuver, I said SOI change. There's also obviously maneuver node. I don't have one plotted, but if you did, it would set an alarm for when that burn was coming up. So if you had a craft that needed a correction somewhere down the line. So yeah, I definitely recommend Kerbal Alarm Clock, and it's working with 1.2 now. Is the reason I didn't have it to begin with, but I highly recommend getting that guy because it is insanely useful. Now, what we need to do is an EVA. Aha! I saw stuff flash. That's a good sign. Cool. So we got the orbital spacewalk near Mun. And that was all the tests that I needed to do en route. So our other half is on their way home, so we might as well begin to plot our landing. So we got 127 delta V left in our break stage. So I'm gonna just plot that, and then we're gonna kind of aim that, and that's gonna be essentially our landing trajectory. And I'm gonna do it a bit suicidal, where I'm gonna kind of wait till as late as I can to burn the engines as low. So essentially we're at the lowest possible altitude, so I don't have to waste extra fuel. Trying to, what am I thinking of? Trying to kill, like if I was to just kill all my horizontal velocity and drop straight down, you're gonna pick up vertical speed, and obviously you have to burn your engines to deal with that vertical speed. So I'm trying to eliminate when I remove my horizontal speed, so I minimize the amount of vertical drop that I have to deal with. And I think landing in craters sucks, so I'm kind of aiming for this strip here, I think, because it's nice and long and it'll give us lots of room for error. So the general idea of landings is you obviously want to kind of do this and just kind of plot a I want to land here scenario. And then as far as the actual descent goes, and that thing shifted a lot. No, don't grab that node. Pass off. Just straighten that back out. Typically you only want to ever be burning in your retrograde direction. If you're ever burning outside of your retro, you're pretty much wasting fuel. So, yep, we're just going to say screw everybody and do this by hand. So we have dropped. We are, which basically means you're definitely gonna land now. Yeah, we'll double check our aim here. So I want to kind of put it probably just in front of these. Oh, well, we're out of fuel, so that's pretty much perfect. I was gonna say a little bit in front of those, but that's fine. So what we need to do now, what is this? Excellent. We're gonna ditch that guy, and it's gonna go slam into the mun and die. We are going to kill our throttle, ignite our engines, deploy our landing gear, which I gotta say sounds pretty badass. I love the way that sounds. So other than dealing with terrain, we're pretty much going to, I'm going to pretty much try and suicide this as much as I can. So you can see our impact time is about 1.5 minutes right now. I'm going to wait until probably 30 seconds, unless if those craters start coming up a little too fast, I'll probably burn a little earlier, but otherwise I'm going to wait till about 30 seconds. Then I'm going to fire our engines hard and try and kill most of our horizontal velocity. Then from there, the craft will essentially swing down, and from there we're just going to continue to burn in our retrograde to kind of flatten it out so we're straight up and down, and then try and land less than 5 meters a second. Ideally, in a perfect world. And so we're 40 seconds out from impact. I have a ton of engines, so I should be able to generate a lot of thrust really fast. We're pretty much headed into those craters. What are we at? We're at 20 seconds, and I totally overshot that. Well, we're going really suicidal. Alright, well, we're gonna burn at 20. We're gonna kill our horizontal velocity. We're at, oh man, we're only at 1300 from the actual terrain below us. So that's really good. And, oh, you could hear our engine crashing. Cool, so you can see we've killed off most of our horizontal speed. Now we pretty much just need to let this thing swing down, and then we are going to try and nurse it in. And ideally, in a perfect world, if you can match your deceleration with this, that's kind of like your optimal, but I'm not that good. So we're 140 meters, 12 meters a second, 90 meters, 80 meters, 70, 60, we need to slow down a little faster. So we are at 3.9 meters a second, 20 meters up. And a little bit of a bounce later. Whoa! Success! We are landed! Yeah, baby! And let's quick save and let's do a fuel check. So we need 600 to get back into orbit, and we need 350 to go home. So that's 950. So that means we have 440 excess right now. Which 440 is most definitely enough to do a jump. So we are going to get greedy, and we're actually going to go for 2 biomes here. Are we getting? Yeah, we're getting enough electric charge. Cool. Okay. Game plan. Okay. Well, the first thing I want to do. If you remember, we had a mission to test the spark engine, which has been just riding up on top of this craft the entire time. Literally just so that I can do that. And then we're going to shut you down, just make sure you don't do something weird. And it was just a matter of your typical science gathering. Most of the stuff is all worth about 20 to 50. Material bay was worth 100, and the surface sample was worth 120. So we generated quite a bit, and we will be able to double everything because we're going to be jumping to a new biome and running everything again. I also burned one of the bat goo canisters just so we have a physical copy and a digital stored copy. It is time to make history. As Jeb? Nope, not Jeb, Bob. Should we give Bob the honors? Or we should really give Jeb the honors. He's the one that piloted this sucker. Yeah, let's we're gonna give Jeb the honors here. Oh, cool. You see Kerbin over there. Oh! Oh no! Bob's gonna steal it from him! He's just hanging on by his parachute. Oh, there he goes. Oh, no. Bob's gonna get Oh, Bob. Well, Bob is now officially the first Kerbal to walk on the Mun. Because he totally scoffed it from Jeb. Anyway, I want to get Jeb down here though. No, don't hit the solar panel. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, Jeb, stop trying to wreck the place. We just got here. So we're going to bring them out. Going to switch back to Bob. He's going to plant a flag because no Mun mission is complete without a flag. Mun first. Well, technically he face planted. So, Mun's first face plant. Bob totally stole it from Jeb. Take a surface sample while I'm thinking of it. Ooh, 120 for that. Yeah! Sorry, I'm just trying to, if I switch back to the craft, and then pull my camera a little bit. We can get a picture! Very, very nice. Cool. So yeah, this is the Mun. As you can see, they kind of hop a bit, and if they jump, whee, they can get some serious airtime. And if you turn on his jetpack, you can actually pretty much just hover. And in fact, if you get really ambitious, if you're close to another biome, you can actually fly these guys out to the other biome and get an EVA and a surface sample, and then bring it back to your ship and get credit for an extra biome. But we are actually going to fly the entire ship to an extra biome so that we can run all of these science experiments. You can see I don't have ladders either, but it really doesn't matter because, well, for one, if you have a ledge, you can just jump like that. But if you don't, you can just use your jetpacks, and they can easily fly up there. So we want to store, and that should make 7, yeah. Cool. So we have all the science, and we planted the flag. So now, I need to test something, because if this doesn't work, I'm doing it the other way. What if we do extend antenna? Really? You don't? I thought these antennas were supposed to have like scanners or some shit now. But apparently not. So we're gonna do it the old cheater way. Because I don't really... If you gave me a tool that I could do this with, I totally would, but as far as I know, there is not anything that can actually do this for you, so I use the cheat menu, and what I'm going to do is this biomes, I'm going to click on this biomes visible, and you can see what that does is it actually lights up all the different biomes on the planet. Because I want to know, so we're in the lowlands right now, which is obviously this dark blue. I'm guessing this is midlands and this is highlands. So if I'm going to make a jump, we're going to jump south. And we'll try and land it over here, and then we can take all the midland readings as well. So that is going to be our game plan. Oh boy. Alright, well, here was nothing. I want you to burn south. And I don't really, ideally I don't really want to get a lot of elevation, I just want to get horizontal travel here. And then that way I can just burn my horizontal again and land. Well, that looks pretty good. We're just gonna kill our engines. And we're gonna spin around retro. We're almost at our apple here, so this should be almost perfect. So basically, as soon as I get over this crater, so I don't land in it, I'm gonna basically essentially repeat what we did before. I'm just gonna burn our engines, kill a horizontal, and then try and ease in the descent. Please tell me you actually are going to clear that crater. What's our elevation? 500. Ooh, that's a bit sketchy. 400, 300, 200. Almost killed all our velocity. And we need to get flat. So we're 60 meters up, and we are just barely decelerating. We are in the Midlands as well, that's good to see. We're at 4, 3, kill the engines, do our little bunny hop. Mahaha! Yes! We did it! Or did we? We need to do a field check. What do we need? We need 950. We have 1050. We have 100 to spare. Aha! We did it! So now I get to collect all the Midland science as well. And we still have enough gas to get home. That should be everything. Awesome! Well, Mun, it's been a ball, but I do believe it is time for us to depart. And I'm going to launch on a 90 so that we are actually going the opposite direction. We came in this way and landed. We're going to now launch this way so that we're actually going with the rotation of Mun instead of trying to fight it. So let us pray we get to orbit. And to be honest, taking off is ridiculously easy after you've landing is the hard part. All you're basically going to do is just point your nose whatever direction you want to go. Punch your engines once this hits 10,000. We're gonna kill the engines and plot our node. And we should be back in orbit. First ever Mun landing complete. Cool. So we're in an 11/10 orbit. We are successfully back in orbit, and we have 450 delta V, which is more than enough. So now we need to plot our return home. So what you want to do with this guy is you basically put Kerbin in front of you here, and then you're going to click kind of on the right side of the planet here and pull this guy out until you actually eject. And the idea here, we want to get the periaps down to 30, obviously, but we also want to keep this kind of circular, and we want to keep this AP kind of near us. The farther left it goes here, the faster you'll get back. If it goes over this way, it'll take you a lot longer to get back. So we kind of want to find a nice happy medium where we're getting back nice and fast, but we're not we're not going too ballistic. So kind of like this is the idea. Oh, look at that. It's almost bang on too. And to be honest, you can do this with a lot less delta V, but we have a bunch of extra and I don't really care that much, and we're going to have to fine tune this, so whatever. We technically still have RCS left, so we can use that to tweak it. However, we have 35 minutes to kill. So you can see we are 2 minutes out on our burn. We're just going to give it a little more of a warp. You know you're on the right path if you can actually see Kerbin. And fire! Oh, that burn's going fast. We're going to switch screens here. Get rid of that. And we're just gonna freehand it in. Stop! That was a little too much. RCS to the rescue! Cool! So, yeah, once you eject, you're gonna kinda look like that. And it's gonna take us 5 hours to get home. However, this guy's probably gonna hit first. So we're gonna switch over to this guy, and we will bring him down to a safe landing first, and then we'll pop back up and bring this guy down. Okay, so we are at 100 here. So we are going to retract our panels. I'm going to close up shop. Now, I do actually have some fuel, but I don't think I'm even going to bother burning it to slow down. I'm going to just have faith that we are going to be okay. And I may regret that, but we'll find out. So we're just going to go ahead and ditch this sucker. I said ditch this sucker. And we have now breached the atmosphere, so hopefully this thing doesn't come back and slam into us. It shouldn't, but you never know. So it's pretty much just a basic re-entry. We just locked onto the retro vector, and you can see there's lots of temperature warnings going off, but the heat shield should absorb most of it, and nothing should, in theory, explode. The one reaction wheel got pretty hot, but it ended up surviving in the end. And I really wanted to have 3 parachutes on this guy, but apparently you can't actually put parachutes on those tri-couplers, so I was only able to run 2, and essentially what I did is I gave it 2 drogue chutes as well, so hopefully, I'm hoping that that'll actually help slow us down. And then I quickly just checked where KSC was there. We're not even close, but it's really hard to aim for KSC when you're doing free returns like that, because you have to sync up the rotations, and it's just a pain in the ass. Tell Daddy he won. Oh. 8 meters a second is a bit, it's a little faster than I'd like, but if something explodes down here, we shouldn't at least lose any people. And really, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. As long as you don't lose science or people, you're good. So we're going to turn off physics. And is it going to blow something up? Oh, no. It actually survived and it stood. Sweet! Right on. Alrighty. Re-entry number 1 is complete. Time for... So we just need to recover this and pop back over to our other vessel. Alrighty. So we are ready for re-entry number 2. We are about to hit atmosphere though, so we need to get rid of these solar panels, and again, I'm not going to, we still have Delta V, but I'm just going to ditch it. I don't really care. We're going to chuck you. Enjoy your fiery death. And now, the theory on this guy is there's a high chance these lights are going to explode. In fact, I'll be surprised if they don't. But I'm hoping that, again, the heat shield will take the brunt of it, and then this thing will actually kind of deflect all the flames so nothing wicks in here and hits anything. That's the idea. We shall see how it pans out. I just had the lights there for if I had to do a night landing on Mun. Having lights on your craft facing down, if you're trying to do night landings, is a really good visual aid, because you can actually see where the ground is. Otherwise you're just flying by instruments, which you can do, but hopefully you have Kerbal Engineer, because if you don't have Kerbal Engineer and you don't have your proper altitude to terrain height, then flying by instruments is going to be pretty tricky. I usually don't pull the parachutes till like 5,000, just to save time. I'm an impatient man. The hard part of this mission's already over, now it's just the waiting game. So, let's see what our snap speed is. Whoop, whoop. Whoa! Doing a backflip. Coming down in style. Right on, Jeb. Leave it to Jeb to do a backflip on re-entry. So we got like 6 meters a second though, that's a lot better. Although I don't know what the... Well, I mean those lights just survived a frickin' really hot encounter, so... Hopefully they survive hitting the ground? Really, tree? Are we landing in a tree? Oh my god, we're landing in a tree. It's a good thing those things don't actually exist. Oh, that's kind of funny. We would have just like got caught in the branches and stuck up there. Cool. We have landed. Now, one thing I do want to do while we're here, I'm not going to plant a flag, so I already planted a flag. However, we still don't have any surface samples from Kerbin, so might as well start here. Coal beans. Time to That's a really big tree. What is that thing? Like, if that thing's 1.5 meters, that's a big ass wood. Anyway, time to recover this sucker and see what kind of jackpot we hit. Ooh, doggy. So we got 841 science. Awesome. And 14% of our vessel. That kind of sucks. Because that vessel had a lot of stuff on it. So that's a lot of wasted money, but haha! Jab and Bob leveled up to 2. Yay! We're going somewhere. And that concludes our first Mun landing trip. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do next episode. I'm pretty sure well, I'll probably dig through the missions, and the missions will likely dictate what I'm actually going to do. I'll probably try and find something different, something we haven't done before, but I may also go on a bit of a spending spree because we have 1,500 science now. And we also, wow, we made what, 1.2 mil for that trip? Because we were at like 700 when we left. So we made almost 1.2 mil. Definitely recoup the cost of upgrading that sucker and anything we lost for the vessel. So yeah, I think that will be the end of this episode, and we shall see you for the next one. Ta-ta! Holy crap. Whoops. So I almost fast forwarded that. Oh. No, I totally did. Ha! I actually time warped it. Literally right through the entire atmosphere. That's, not good. So, luckily, I made a quick save. So we're just going to load that, and you can all call me a noob, and we're gonna try this again.